We are live. Welcome, my loves. We are going to talk about the cosmic energy. We're going to talk about what's going on this month. We're going to talk about what's going on in the world. We're going to talk about all the things. We're going to talk about what you can do. We're going to go over some breath work tips. We're going to go over some mental sanity tips. And we're going to talk about all the things that are coming up. And I'm going to answer some questions because we haven't done that for a little while. So let's do this thing. Hi, loves. Welcome. I have a new candle for June. I feel like it's very, oh, here's my reminder. Go live. While everybody jumps on, we're going to light a candle together. It's a new candle. It's very fitting. It's called Calming Waves. So let's do this. Yay! I'm so excited to choose a course, Gabrielle. Yay! I love it. I love it. I love it. There are so many things going on. And ask me any questions about any of those, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. We're going to start just by talking about the energy first, because I feel like it's important to understand how to be supported through this time, okay? So take a moment, and if you haven't set an intention for the month of June, let's do this. This is a good time to do this with a Calming Waves candle, which clearly I'm really feeling the turquoise. For me, this color connects to Atlantis, and this is the energy that we're really tapping into, the energy that we're linking up to right now. So take a breath with me, set an intention, and let's make this simple. And set an intention for the way that you want to feel this month. Like if there's a feeling that you want to hold, like a feeling of feeling peaceful, a feeling of feeling grounded no matter what, a feeling of feeling supported in life no matter what. Things like that. That's really helpful for us to set an intention. Yes, Atlantis and Lemuria, you're right. Atlantis and those two are connected. Absolutely. So let's set an intention for the way that we want to feel. Take a breath. I always hold the breath for a moment because it's resetting. Just so that you know, if you need a reset, inhale, hold the breath as long as you need, and then exhale, and it will reset you. So happy June, loves. Happy new month. Happy holding the vibration and the frequency that you came to hold in the middle of madness. The practice rounds are over. This is like actually the real thing. So what's happening this month? There are, and we talked about this a little bit, but there are eclipses, which means whenever you hear about an eclipse, there's information being dropped. These are like downloads. These are codes coming straight through to the subconscious. Okay, so it's like an install, software upgrade, light body software upgrade is happening. Mercury's going retrograde. We entered retro shadow today. Just in case we were bored with the current retrograde situation, Mercury is like, hey, going to be retrograde in Cancer, home of the moon, home of the feelings. So Mercury is going to be a thing that has to do with relationships, okay? Neptune is going retrograde, I think, on the 18th, and between the eclipses. We have the solstice, and if you look at the planets, this is what I'll tell you. And those of you in Moonbabe Society that get my monthly calendar will see this. Like if you look at the astrology calendar for this month, it looks like a fight that has to be won. Like at every point there's like an ignition, and then somewhere to take a leap, and a reset, and then you have to do it again. Like it's a month where you really have to pace yourself, staying in the vibration that you want. This is not a month where you're like, oh, when is this energy going to blow over? Not that month. Okay, like this is the month where it's like every day a little higher, every day a little better, every day a little higher, every day you can, every day more faith, every day more courage, okay? So this is a climb, okay? So that is the thing. So yeah, this is guidance, Gabrielle. This is guidance about the eclipses, and this is really what we're doing. I have received a lot of messages lately because of the videos and the information that I've been putting out. like thanking me for staying with it. Sometimes it's hard to say the things that I say and to explain the things as bluntly. Like sometimes I feel like I don't want to have to, right? But then I get in alignment and it's like, okay, let's do this. I can hold this love and I can explain this from a strong, strong place. And so many of you recognize that. I've gotten messages, voicemails, like all sorts of things, emails, and I appreciate you. And I wish I could share everything. I share what I feel like is of support and of value for everyone, for the community when I share, the screenshots and everything. So this is to say, I am so proud of those of you that are here in the tribe, that are listening, that are doing the work, and that you're seeing the results. And some of you that I'm hearing the stuff from, you've never even been in any of my courses. And so it's so like, it gives me chills that you really feel, everything through Instagram, through like the YouTube. And really, this is the value. This is, we're in this together at every level. So it's super amazing, and it's just exciting that there are so many of us doing this work, right? Moving forward, shifting the planet grid forward. And this is a big, big thing that all of us light workers, all of us like healers, starseeds, all those of us that are like, we're feeling this alignment, we're feeling this call, okay? It is our job this month more than ever to support the grid. When we meditate, if you go to any of my YouTube meditations, we always connect, right? First, you always breathe into your heart. And then when you exhale, you push your energy awareness down, okay? Before you ground to the earth, you actually connect to the light grid. This is where it's like a flower of life, but it's like an intergalactic, let's just say it like that, because it's an interdimensional exchange of energy where we are creating the new earth planetary field. Okay, this is where the creation energy goes. This is where we deposit the codes. This is where like the information is exchanged. It's like our lymphatic system. Okay, so when you are in when it comes to like the new earth, because we also always want to ground to Mother Earth. So we need to do all the things. Okay, so you need to work with your higher self, stay in your heart, connect to the grid, connect to the earth. If you're not doing the alchemy of heaven and earth in your heart, that's why I call it, then you won't feel whole. So make sure that you go to, I have plenty of meditations. That's always how we start, because you're not going to get anywhere unless you do that. Okay. So it's just, you have to get in your heart and you have to open up the flow of the energies. So it's very, very important. Make sure you do that every day, set intentions, and just decide that this is going to be a good month no matter what. Decide that you are going to ride the wave on top. Decide now that you are going to be putting in the work when you get triggered, when the things come up. Decide now, because then while it happens, right, then you don't have to say, oh my gosh, do I want to look at it or not? Like, make the commitment. Commitment allows you to bypass the bullshit of your mind, okay? Make a strong commitment, and then you'll be like, oh, I got to deal with this. I got to look at this. Don't let the things stew, because then they become bigger, okay? So, okay. Questions about the grid, I'll take them. Grid is really hard for me to connect to right now. Any tips on what I should be feel? Yes. So if you're having a hard time, about the crystalline core. So it's really important. If you're having a hard time connecting to the grid, you may be connecting to the lower vibrational fields on the grid. So you want to go higher, okay? So ask to connect, set the intention, and like basically ask yourself, command yourself, right? We're in charge to ground and connect into the highest frequency available to you, okay? Because you may be tapping into a grid, like I said a while ago, last month, the 5D grid got infiltrated. Like 3D disappeared and 5D got infiltrated. And so what they're really trying to do right now is to make the 5D the new 3D, right? They're trying to like latch back that reality with all the things that we're seeing. So we have to stay higher. And so if you're a light worker and healer, starseed, you know, all of the light things, which all of you are. So let's just clear that up. Because sometimes people feel like, oh, maybe this is not for me. No, it is for you. Everyone, really. And so you want to be in like 7 to 9D at least. Okay. That's where you ground into. We're always like 2 dimensions ahead of what manifests in our reality in terms of where our energy grounds. So kind of feel that way, right? So if we're manifesting a world where everyone flows in 5D, then we're grounding to 7 for sure, right? 7 is the dimension of sound. 7 is the dimension of our subconscious. 7 is the throat chakra. 7 is standing in your truth. 7 is all the things that are happening right now, right? In our world, people are like wanting to stand up for their rights and understanding how to speak up. And it's getting distorted, but this is a global throat chakra activation. This is what's happening, okay? It's just that people have not been taught how to do this in a way that is sustainable, in a way that is love. And so because in our human body, we, go to fight or flight mind, then this is what we're seeing manifested out in the world, right? And all of that. So it's important that we take responsibility for everything that we see and we don't blame people. People did this. Police officers did this. Blah, 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 people did this, whatever. It's not people. It's like what part of you feels that trigger? Heal that. Because on the highest level, everything that's happening on the planet is our, how do I say this? It's basically our responsibility. It's our creation. It's our mind's creation, okay? It's an illusion that we project. It's a holographic experience that we're creating as we continue life. So whatever is within is without. If we hold fear inside, fear manifests outside. If, just like if you think, oh shit, now that the corona thing is over, what's next? I wonder what's going to happen. And you're in anxiety and you're in fear. That's what happens. Riots happens, right? So instead, it's like we want to shift to peace. We want to shift to love. So this is a big check for everybody's inner feelings because as a collective, we manifest, okay? So there are points that are called singularities that on the great scheme of things, right? If you look at all the timelines, because the timelines work like octaves. And so like a musical sheet, where like the notes are written, it's like octaves. So there's options and these timelines we're constantly switching through depending on what frequency we're holding. So we're constantly in and out. We may be on our highest timeline now and then like something triggers and you're like, boom, right? This is why I call weaving dimensions because we have to get back up. So this is what a lot of people call living your best life, even though they don't understand, right? To me, it's like living your best life. Like this is on your highest timeline, but generally it's not used that way. Anyways, so the point is, okay. We're constantly having to reframe our state of being because the timelines are always available, okay? We can always go up. We can always shift up. And when we go down and we feel the fear, it's our job. Fear or anxiety or depression. That's when you drop, okay? So that's the stuff that manifests and attaches your awareness. It entangles your emotion, okay, which is energy in motion, and the motion of your energy makes a movement which attracts, right, what's happening back. So if you're energetically moving in your energy field something that is fear, then you're going to attract something fear. If, billions of people feel fear inside of them around the planet and they're emotionally putting that stuff out, even though they maybe don't talk about it, but if they're emotionally putting that stuff out, that's energy in motion that's attracting collective fear-based situations. And so then we manifest the reality that we see. It's really hard to understand when you're in a lower vibrational timeline and all you can see is the concrete world. Okay, if you're not understanding yet how energy really works and the fact that everything is energy, and even though you see things that are concrete, right, this is really energy. It's all energy. And if we vibrated at the same rate, we would go through this hand, right? The people that can walk through walls, they can switch their vibration to like match the vibration of the wall. Therefore, the wall is not actually solid anymore. Okay, so once you match the vibration of the thing, you work with the thing. So point is, everything is energy. The world that we see as concrete is a reality that we've all collectively agree on and that we supported. If we literally all changed our mind at the same time, like say a celestial event happened that like the whole entire world witnessed and everybody's feelings went like holy shit balls, right? And like had this like insane altering experience at the same time, our world could literally vanish like this. Okay, so it's kind of a thing. It's kind of crazy. But when you really start to understand energy, then you become very responsible for your thoughts. You become very responsible for your words. You become very responsible for your feelings, but not just the feelings that you externalize, not the feelings you talk about, not the feelings that you deal with, but the feelings that you hold inside. Okay, that's like serious, serious, serious. So, become the master of your being, okay? Become the master of your experience on earth, because if every single person did that and was able to hold love, then we can manifest a more loving situation. So some of you guys remember when I lived at the mansion, which was like this amazing place. We called it the mansion because it was like a huge estate here in Utah, and amazing, incredible, famous people from all over. Like it was a place where Moonbabe Society was born. It was actually a very like healing place for me. It was a place of creativity, a place of connection. And some of you actually came to visit me there. And in the mansion, I learned from Dave Austin, and you can Google him. He is a very famous man, but he explained that he went through a training where it was self-defense, and they actually explained, and by the way, side note, famous people know all the things that we talk about. The people that are in Hollywood, quote unquote, right? They know all these things. They just don't talk about it with the regular people because it's like pearls are lost on the swine. You know that reference? Like they just think, whatever, the people don't know about this stuff, right? But the people that actually are like the CEOs, like the people that are up there doing the things and shaking up the world, they understand these concepts. They talk about them in a slightly different way. But I remember like talking to people that were like, you know, huge coaches, like international things. And they're like, oh yeah, I do the same thing you do. I just call it something different. And they charge like, you know, hundreds of thousands of dollars type thing because they're in the circuits of like the Hollywood and whatever not. And I was like, I know how you do that. So in terms of like the readings and the souls and the alignment and like all of those things. Anyways, side note. So the point is there was a self-defense training, and the self-defense training was about the fact that when you have an aggressor, okay, and somebody comes to you, if you actually can tap into that place of pure love inside your heart, then they can't hurt you. And I was like, say what? Because I never actually processed that like that before. But he explained it to me, and he said that we actually did this and we practiced this in this like high level camp. Where basically like if somebody has like a knife at your throat, and I'm not saying this like go try it at all, so disclaimer a million ways, but I'm just saying it made sense to me. Like if somebody wants to hurt you, but you actually tap into like pure love, pure Christed light, love in your heart for the person, seeing that this is not who they are, but they actually are in fact pure love, and you can see them and recognize them for who they are and feel love for them no matter what, they actually physically can't hurt you. Like, it just stops them because it's not a match. But what happens is a lot of times when those things happen, people get in fear, right? And so fear propels the movement like forward for the thing. So that was really interesting to me. But there's a lot of tools like that actually, are just not taught. So this is the point: pure love, holding love in your heart, holding peace, holding that higher vibration. And, a lot of you are probably like, holy shit, how could you feel pure love for somebody that's about to do something like that, right? This is why we have masters of light, like Christ and Buddha and like all these guys, that's what they did. And that's why they're masters. So, that's the thing. We aren't on that level, but we're reaching, and we have to give ourselves room to grow and room to believe that we can actually change the world that way, because otherwise, do you want to continue living in this world where, people riot and burn down things just because they don't know what else to do? I refuse to live in an apocalyptic kind of world. That's not my reality. That's never my reality. And a lot of people will say, well, that's really easy for you because, la, 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 la. That's not true. I came to this, so I want, and I'm going to say this once and then I'm going to drop it, okay? I came to this country when I was 15, almost 16 years old, by myself. I did not speak English, and this country was not nice to me at all, okay? The people that were my host family, they would forget to take me to school. People never took the time to understand what I was saying because I was a kid that didn't speak English. And it was really weird. It was a weird world, understanding how to navigate high school and all of the different things. I did not trust the medical system, didn't want to touch me because I was the kid, right? Like I experienced what it's like to be an outsider from many perspectives that I don't wish on anybody, okay? And so that gave me a reference point. This is why I have my heart is so big, and I can understand so many people and their experiences and what they go through, because I have had people that get to know me, my friends are like, holy shit, you've lived multiple lives in this lifetime. And I feel that because I've had so many crazy, crazy experiences. And my parents were like, we don't even know how you did it, but they knew, right? I knew I had to come here. They knew they had to let me go. And they put me on a plane and basically said, we love you. Good luck. We know you have to do this, right? And thank God that all happened. But I had to figure out life, and it's different. And so I understand that. I understand treatment. I understand mistrust. I understand not trusting the people that are supposed to be on your side. The legal system turning against you. I completely understand that. That all of that stuff. I understand both sides. And that as much as it took me, some of the things that happened because of the emotional scarring that I had to go through, I shouldn't say scarring, but because of the experience that I had to go through, it was so deep, it took me years. Certain things took me years to be able to deal with and to not feel like a full-blown panic attack whenever, for example, I drove by the freeway and there was a police officer. That's real shit, okay? And so now I practice, whenever that happens, it's okay, love, I get into pure love, because it undoes, that experience. But there was trauma. There were things that happened that shouldn't happen to people. And so I understand that. I understand outrage. I understand full-blown rage. I understand crying and praying, right? I understand Ho'oponopono to clear up shit that seems crazy and there's no way that it could work out, okay? I understand a lot of things that are happening probably beyond a lot of people just because of the way that I came into this country and the way that my life played out. And I had to stand up for myself on a lot of things. So I see how both sides think that's so real, right? But then I also have friends, and I've had neighbors that are police officers, and they're amazing, great people, right? So it's always different people doing different things, and how, the stuff plays out. So it's people. It's not, we can't sit here and say it's this organization, it's this organization, it's this organization. It's us. It's inside of us. It's inside of the people, whatever we harbor, right? And whatever, however we choose to act. And granted, there are organizations that are super corrupt, and it is what it is. But even now, some of the children of the Illuminati are feeling bad, and they're coming out. Even in that scenario, there's good stuff that's coming out. So it's just, there's good and bad in everything. And when you actually see it and you understand it, you realize that unless both sides, or all of the sides, begin to feel love and begin to forgive and begin to move forward and begin to see what is possible and create what is possible, we're going to continue living in what is, okay? Our generation came here to clear, break the chains of the past, of our lineage, of our families. That stuff has to get cleared out so that we can move forward. And there are forces that implant all sorts of things so that we don't, because it's not in their best interest, okay? So point is, I get it. I feel it on a soul level. I understand all sorts of, in a weird way, I understand all sorts of persecution. You guys, I was living in Italy. Italy is a Catholic country, okay? Which means it is ruled and censored by the Pope and the Catholic Church, and that's no joke. You go to Italy, there's shit you can't even pull up on YouTube because it's censored, okay? It's serious regime kind of country. And my parents, when I was 4 years old, decided to become my mom decided to become LDS. So I was the kid that was ostracized because she's a different religion. She has cooties, we don't talk. That whole thing, and it wasn't maybe that dramatic, but it really happened like that. And people didn't understand, and teachers hated me because I was the kid that was a different religion, okay? So I have experienced all sorts of being a minority and being hated on, and it's not pleasant. It is not pleasant. And I have learned how to find love, and my mom always says, you always have a way of allowing people that hate you to see you, so that once they see you, they can't hate you anymore. But literally, in school, in my, it was high school, I had a teacher that would always just fail me no matter what. And my dad thought that I was lying, right? My dad's you're stupid. All these things happened. I was I swear I'm doing my homework. So we finally had a meeting, and we busted this teacher on something because, whatever, papers, some kind of thing. So my parents finally believed me, and they went to talk to her. And she literally, I will never forget it, and my parents don't forget it. And she literally said out of her mouth, I have been failing her because she reminds me of the woman that my husband cheated on me with. Therefore, she's done. Something about me triggered that, right? And I have had to, I had to deal with this whole failing, this whole you're an idiot from my family, all this stuff. And I'm you guys this is not how it is. And so it's just unfairness, injustice. I get it. Everyone has had some kind of, and in Italy, you grow up and punishments are physical. I used to get beat up on this stuff, right? And it's just how it is. It works like that in, in an old country. So all sorts of things. So I understand, and I don't take these things lightly. Okay, I've from emotional to physical to all of the things, I understand it. And I understand that if you want to survive in truly, if you want to fucking survive, because that's what I did, in a country that is against you and that does not like you, you're going to need to make friends with it. Okay, you're gonna need to make friends with it, and you're gonna need to let people see you for who you are, and you're gonna need to expand that, and you're gonna need to show people what you're made of, and show love. This is real work. And I've always understood, and I've always said that, and it's kind of funny that's coming out now, but I've always said, like, you know, Americans don't understand. They didn't grow up with, like, you know, the stuff that I grew up with. There wasn't, like, I grew up doing, like, protesting, schools, occupations. Like, I grew up doing all of these things, and I saw everything playing out. I saw everything in a corruption system, which is why now, like, thank God, right? When you awaken and you connect the dots and you're like, that makes sense why I had to experience that. That made sense why I had to experience that, you know? Because now I see it play out now, and I'm like, wait, people, this is not how we do things. This is not it. Like, I know how this goes, and this doesn't play out well, right? So I understand this stuff, and it really is crazy how it's coming into play now, and I'm like, yeah, that's not what we do. So when I talk about, you know, when I express myself in terms of, we need to work on, like, Ho'oponopono. We need to work on, you know, meditation. We need to work on healing. We need to understand that. We need to make friends with people. We need to love one another. We need to, like, raise the vibe in that. Like, I mean it, and I know it's work. God knows I know it's work, right? It is work. But, like, you can do it, right? You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. And, I feel it. I now feel, it took me a long time to feel supported and to feel in sync here, you know, with everything that has to do with the country. But once I felt safe within myself, which has happened, you know, in the past few years, but when I was younger, right? When you're young and you don't have family and you don't have friends and you don't speak English and you don't understand how things go, that is rough. And so you do work and you learn to love yourself, and then you forgive all of the things and all of the people and all of the circumstances and all of the situations. And then you clean up, you clean up, you clean up, you let go, you let go, you let go. And then you get lighter, and then you're able to hold love for those people. And then you're able to see that they didn't even know what they were doing. And then you're able to see, you know, that they were just scared. And then you're able to see that they're doing the best that they can for what they think is going to, because, you know, people that act like assholes generally are scared. They're scared to look bad. They're scared to do something that's going to come back to them. Like, there's reasons. They have scars. They have bigger emotional wounds than the ones we have, right? Because we're able to, like, to be healed on some level. So you start to understand that you're like, oh man, like, I have compassion for you because I know where you're at, and I had to work through mud to get myself out of that shit. So you got work to do, right? Like, start looking at them like you have a lot of healing to do, instead of feeling like hate. Hate doesn't, you know, I mean, Nelson Mandela has like a million quotes about that, right? There's so many people that have so many quotes about that stuff, and it's like, hate doesn't resolve anything, okay? Until we learn to love and to hold peace, it's just not going to work out. And then this is, by the way, so tying it back to all of the cosmic stuff that we're talking about, what happens is this stuff keeps you in karmic cycles. Okay, so those of you that are doing the work, so that's that, and that's my personal experience. So now you know, and it's just not something I ever talk about, because I'm not here to bitch and complain and, you know, and all of these things. I'm here to rise above. So I've survived, I have, like, lived, I have climbed the layers of myself to get better and better and better. I've definitely gone through the refiner's fire. So I just want you guys to know that I do speak from experience. So in a lot of things. Okay. So what happens when we don't? We always have a choice. At every point in time, we have a choice, okay? And we have a choice, and the choice will make you go right or left. Like, an argument comes up, you know it, if you're in a relationship, if you've ever been, right? You're in a relationship, and then you're like, that just pissed me off to no end. Do I want to, you know, fire up in flames? One choice. Or do I want to breathe, take a time out, and then talk about it, right? Or do I just want to laugh about it and, like, you know, go and get a hug and choose love, which is so hard, right? But, like, we always have a choice. We have a choice how we respond. We don't have a choice about the things that come up, but we have a choice how we respond. And once we consistently choose how to respond to things, our trajectory changes, okay? So, this is what connects the new neural pathways in our brain so that it becomes easier and easier and easier to choose higher and higher and higher. Whenever we don't and we choose low, we choose easy, we choose fight or flight, we choose reaction instead of action, we just kind of are like, blah, and we throw up and we let it go. When you do that, you create karma. Know that. This is how people get stuck in karmic cycles and they're on earth for the millionth lifetime, okay? So, and then, when we go through between dimensions, it's like, so, did you get that shit figured out? Damn it, I gotta go back, right? So then you incarnate again and then you forget because you're a baby and like the circumstances, then you set up triggers for yourself, but then you forget and then you react instead of act. This is how karma is created. So if you live a life of hate, resentment, guilt, lower vibrational emotions, you're gonna come back. That's like the easiest way that I could say that, because that's karma and karma keeps you in a loop, okay? So that's that. Now, there are things, this is what I was starting to say about the timelines. There are events that are called singularities. Singularities are moments in time that every single one of us that's here agreed on, and these are the things that are going to happen no matter what on our planet. These things will happen no matter which timelines we are on. Like the timelines converge all into a singularity, and then an event happens and we all have to go back, right, and deal with it. Like events happen that change the course and the direction of what's happening on planet Earth. We all go through them, no matter which, vibrational reality you're in, you go through it from a different perspective. You experience it differently, physically, mentally, emotionally, right? Like all the things. And then you continue. So this is what happens. And so we're experiencing some of these events right now, which is why a lot of people, a lot of light workers, starseeds, healers, earth angels, everybody here, you get like whiplash because we're like, and we're here again. Boom, we got to go back up. And we're here again. We got to go back up, okay? But we got to keep doing that. This is how we weave dimensions. And as we open that gap, we're literally opening portals for people to be able to feel that frequency and to be able to vibe in that, okay? Yay! All right. I'm so glad that we got through that explanation. So what happens? Do your work, okay? When you get triggered, look at what's triggering you. Ask, what does this remind me of, okay? And then you ask, what's the worst thing that means about me? So you start digging deeper and deeper and deeper. So it's, things like that. Like, what am I afraid that this means about me? What is unhealed about me? Like, where's the hate? Where's the resentment? Go look, go dig for the shitty feelings. Like, you have to make friends with your shadows because otherwise you can't bring the light. Okay. So you got to get really honest. When I post and I say you have to get honest, this is the stuff. And then if you go fiercely, if you do it half-assed, it comes back. So you might as well get it done. Okay. So go in and actually look at it and be like, all right, demons, we're dealing today, right? Kind of like that. These are your emotions, whatever pisses you off. So the thing that you want to resolve is always what am I scared that this means about me? Okay. Answer that question because we're always scared that it means something about us if we don't do something right. We may be scared that we're not, doing it right. And therefore we get, whatever, things will come up. So I don't want to put stuff in your head. So that's that. Then breath work does a lot, literally. We're not used to breathing as a society, okay? So big inhale, hold it. Wrap up, bring up as you hold it. Bring up all of your shit. Bring up all of your shit that's pissing you off. And when you exhale, let it go. Visualize it spiraling up, being transmuted to light, okay? Transmuted to light. Call on Archangel Michael. That kind of stuff, okay? And let it go. But even just breathing like that, if you're not accustomed to breath work, doing that a few times, just for 1 minute, it will change your life completely. 1 minute. You just have to actually do it, okay? or breath of fire. And a lot of you have been learning that. We've been doing it on stories. I'm going to do some more right now. My stories would like maxed out because we've been talking about so many things. So breath of fire, equal parts breath in and out of the nose, pumping the navel point in. This clears up all of your chakras. Like it clears up the connection. It clears up the blocks, the doubts in your mind. Okay. I usually do it with one hand on my heart, one on my belly, because it connects like your love and your creative center. So you can do it in many ways. I have tutorials. I have videos on that on my YouTube. So do it. Make a commitment. This is a good month to do it. There's like a meditation that's called the balancing breath work, Kundalini balancing breath work or something. It's like a mantra and breath work and setting intentions. It's like 6 minutes. You can do it. Okay, you can even do it in the car. It doesn't even require you to hold, like to close your eyes. So find a spot, do it in the shower, do it in the car. Like we have to do it as like a primary thing now, okay? So because you'll see, you become less reactive. You disengage the negative mind, okay? Kundalini is very good for physical integration of things. Astral journeys and things of that nature are good for like the light body integration of stuff, are good for understanding, are good for higher self integration, are good for raising your vibration like to the next level, right? But when you're just like, I have all these downloads and I have all this stuff and I need to like bring it to earth and everything has to come together, Kundalini, okay, move your body. Like that's what I found that is like very in sync because it helps with your endocrine system, with your nervous system, and, you know, knowing how to just function the whole thing through. So very important things, okay? If you need extra energy right now when we are, so this is the third thing I want to tell you. Right now where we're like Schumann Resonance spiking and it feels like we're like going through this like pressure cooker kind of thing, okay? Take a deep breath in. Hold it. Put your tongue, press it on the roof of your mouth. Like that. Like on the very roof. Hold it, hold the breath, squeeze your energy up, okay? Squeeze, like you're going to the bathroom, but squeeze your energy. Like send it up, press up on your tongue, and then exhale. Do that 3 times. Boom, burst of energy, okay? So these are tools because it just revives you, okay? Or if you're having a hard time because of like the sun and the downloads, get in the shower, get in the tub. If that's not available to you, go get your wrists right here. Underwater, okay? Cold water in the sink. It will revive you. So you just have to know, like, these are like tips, and I constantly talk about these things. I probably need to like put together like a video of all of this stuff. But there are things that you can start doing just to disengage, because sometimes you just need to like clear off the top and you're just like, whew, water. Water is helpful. Salt, if you get a headache, okay, go get salt. Go get Himalayan salt, the pink salt. Salt with minerals. Our body lacks minerals. When you feel headaches, when you feel like, you know, like just drained and like headachy, literally I will put salt on my hand and I go, and then I swish water in my mouth, swallow it, feel better, recalibrated, okay? Not white salt, Himalayan salt, okay? Salt with that stuff. So these are good things. And then move your body, okay? And it will make a difference. And of course, like all the things that I teach, but I'm like, these are basic, like, take off the top edge, because a lot of people now are coming to the edge and they just need something really quick. So these are like really quick things that you can do to shift, okay? So let's do that. I feel like this is going to get long and then Instagram isn't going to let me publish it. So let's hop on another one, another live, and I will answer questions, okay? Yay, I love you guys. We always end up talking forever. I don't know what time, like how long we went, but this was good and I'm glad we talked about it. And yeah, let me answer questions and anything else that comes up. Oh, and I want to tell you about I want to answer some of the questions that I got by message. So I love you. This is Sonia G. Thanks for joining the Moon Babes Monday Night Live part 1. Let's go to the second, okay? And I'll answer questions. Love you.